We are going to talk about Colombia, where there have been 2 days of protests that in some places have been very violent.
That's right, all because of a controversial tax increase project that our correspondent Jose Arnaldo Mujica told us about. Good evening.
Monica, Ramon, good evening. Thank you for the contact. That's right, Albert. The advertising that you're making is that the majority of Colombians have demonstrated due to the government has named as the new law of sustainable solidarity, and this has three important points. First, try to collect more taxes. Second, try to prevent the debt that the COVID-19 generated in Colombia, since Colombia has been lowered in points if the law of international risk. And as the third point, also has to do with the creation of a new government environment fund. Now, the question is, where these funds come with the resources? The answer was given by the Minister of Finance, Alberto Carrasquilla, who made it very clear that the 73% of natural person will be the responsible for raising around $6,800,000. According to the COVID-19, this left a margin of discontent, especially in the middle class. On the contrary, that will be the people who are going to be delivered the amount of the money. People who are between $600 and $65 on a monthly basis has left 2 days of strikes, and we have prepared this report for you. Partner?
The government have challenged to the people and the people are reacting.
We have lived 27 years of endless poverty.
More VAT and more taxes at the worst time.
Displeasure, anger, and rejection. Thousands of Colombians say no to the tax reform presented by the government. The protests that took shape in the streets of Colombia.
The reform includes VAT on all essential products.
This Wednesday and Thursday, students, union federations, teachers, indigenous, and other sectors showed their rejection in several parts of the country to what they consider a cruelty to the middle class. A project that raises the tax for products of the family basket, public services, and income over $663. That is 467 Chilean pesos.
It is a moderate tax reform if we compare internationally.
The first day of protests began with dancing, music, and shooting, but later the violence took the streets. Pillage and heavy clashes between protesters and police in the cities of Bogotá, Cali, and Medellin. Social organizations estimate 4 dead, nearly 50 injured, and 26 detained in the midst of the protests.
What we have seen today in many places is criminal vandalism. It's attack against the infrastructure, against the other people's business.
One of the most tense moments in Cali was the looting of a supermarket. Although later, the protesters returned the stolen objects amid applause.
They are giving back the devices stolen again to the shop, got back by the citizens.
A few hours earlier, indigenous people demolished the statue of the founder of the city as a way of vindication.
The heavy precipitation right now falling on this Bogotá and the red alert this city, the increase of cases of COVID-19 in this third epidemiological wave in face of people desperate for manifesting their discontent against the tax reform announced by the President Ivan Duque.
And it is that only this Wednesday there were almost 500 deaths in 24 hours. The president announced that this Thursday that he will not withdraw the project, and the protesters say they will not move from the streets.
All these manifestations have been generated in the middle of a very complicated situation. Regarding the COVID-19 during this Thursday, the Minister of Health has announced a total of 505 people have lost their lives as a result of this virus. This is the highest number that has been registered since the beginning of the pandemic. In addition, in the case of Bogotá, it is practically to 91.1% of the overdate for notaries. Meanwhile, the President of the Republic has announced that by the end of the May is expected to vaccinate 8 million Colombians with the intention of reducing pressure socially. This is a really very complicated situation. Consider in 20 days we could see the consequence of these strikes that are taking place and generating in the last few days, and possible in the next few days we will see more of these strikes. Thank you so much, Fernando. We'll continue with you.
Very good. Thank you so much, Jose Hernando Mujica from Bogotá in Colombia. Thank you. Good night.